Hej världen, jag heter Zack the Demon Lord. Hey world, I am Zack the Demon Lord. Welcome to my channel. It has been, I think, a little bit since I last made a video. I don't remember how long ago, but thus, here I am, and for a special occasion, today marks the 1 year mark of growing my beard out. In other words, this is the video of the year. It's a good mark. I haven't done any beard specific videos before, so this is good. Like I mentioned in my half a year hair video, if you've watched that, the placements of this video is going to be a little odd just because how things worked out. The half, every like the anything that's gonna have a half with my hair is gonna be placed precisely about 2.5 months before any yearly beard videos come out. So it'll be a little interesting because if you watched that video, you've basically seen the end result, just a little bit more time gone into it. Basically where I've had 2.5 months after that fact. I've basically had time to grow maybe another inch or so worth of beard hair, but whatever the case is though, yeah. We'll talk though about yeah, everything. Let's start with this. I am very, very happy that I've reached this point. To be honest, I'd been growing my beard out before, if you've watched anything from my channel, and man, I feel like an idiot that I ever cut it in the first place. The reason for cutting it was more or less for the meme, but damn did that meme screw me up. The instant after, I was like, yeah, that was a fail, fam. Chat, take the clippers away. That was that was not worth it at all. Basically, it was literally right after I graduated from my last college, where I got my associates, and I kind of cut it as a surprise everyone that has seen me for 2 years here at the school, and plus surprise co-workers. This is what I look like without a beard. So the humor, it kind of served its purpose to an extent. People didn't react as much as I thought they would. Some people were like, dang, you look different, but that's about as much as I got. The only other thing I got is one of my coworkers who I miss working with, had basically gone, man, Odin is disappointed in you. And I was like, I feel it. Yep, I feel it. Because, yeah, as said, after having cut it, oh, part of it was also my long hair, which was just not helping. I feel like being clean shaven works best when you have short hair. And just something about that combination just not expedited, but just kind of emphasized is probably a better word. It emphasized just how, of course everyone's gonna have their own opinions, but in my opinion, just how ugly I look without this. And so, yeah, it was devastating losing it, but so for that reason, I am happy to now be at this year mark. Now, I will say, with my previous beard journey, I kind of cut it, not like clean shaven, but trimmed it up here and there. And so I didn't really know where on the journey I was, but I will say I do feel like I have reached something similar to this point before. And I can show a video, or not a video, but a picture up here from my previous hair length videos. Not that you would specifically see it because it, with that video it's so quick, but yeah, I'll put a picture up here of I think what the biggest would have been for comparison. But yeah, I think you would agree it's at a pretty similar stage as I had been. I just didn't know where I was with that. Let's see, next train of thought. Yeah, I will mention, so I am videotaping this at the true year after mark, but this video will actually be coming out a little later just because I'm going to be taking one more picture of myself that I'm going to include in this time lapse. That's something I'm kind of not happy with, and it'll make the time lapse a little interesting to make, I'm sure. I haven't checked dates or specific days, but where my new hair videos are on the pictures for the time lapse are on a weekly basis now. And where that video is specifically, timed up to go perfectly for the hair, obviously, because that's what's based off is the hair journey, not the beard. And so the start of this beard journey was while I still had long hair. There's going to be an interesting thing. I'm sure that's going to happen with this time lapse, and I'm going to have to figure some things out because I'm pretty sure I would have freshly shaven. I think my graduation was like on a Wednesday or Thursday, maybe a Friday. So yeah, just be warned, there's going to be an interesting thing with the time lapse. But I do want to discuss, before I talk about the beard specifically, I do want to in depth of what it's like now, and talk about beards and stuff in general. I do want to talk about the time lapse of how I went about growing out my beard. So before this year's worth journey, when I had previously grown out my beard, I kind of started out by, I had a lot of mishaps, but, I started out by just growing it out haphazardly, and I kind of did some trim work, not really good, but tried to do some trim work along the way, then just kind of like stop the trim work and just let it grow. Most of my trim work with that was just properly, it's hard when it's so big because you can't see my neck or anything, but I just kind of like try to make sure I had a clean neck basically for a little bit, and once it started getting long enough, then proceeded to grow out neck hair. Then after it got so long, I went to the barber, and it wasn't actually that far in the journey. It felt far because it was my first time growing out a beard, but it really wasn't that far. And I had him trim him up a little bit, and then, because I'm retarded, maybe that's not a nice word to use towards myself, but because I make stupid mistakes sometimes, we'll go with that. I decided at some point that, I don't know, it just wasn't looking right to me, and I just was getting irritated with the itchy skin. I didn't know how to solve that, and so then I did a goatee thing where my beard hair was probably down to maybe about here ish, I don't know. And yeah, I just kind of did an extra wide goatee at first, and then what was an extra wide goatee I just did not like, and so I just kind of kept him perching, and then got into this really small, basically ball on my chin, which I do not miss at all. And then I was like, oh, this is ugly. We better stop this. And so at that point, I had just toughed it out and let it grow out. And then it just kept growing and growing and growing. And then eventually, I think I got into a point where I just didn't like what I was doing, and so I bought some, and that's kind of leads to that point I was talking about where I grown it out long enough, that basically I decided, just because of how I was looking, it just looked, the reason I had cut it actually, the looks was a little bit of it, but I think the main thing is like, so I don't have my long hair, of course, right now, so it'll be a little difficult, but as you've seen the photo, I didn't like it because like, so like my hair basically like came to like here-ish, and so like there's a little bit of beard peeking under, and I just did not like that. I still have the idea that it's better for the hair on the head to be longer. I mean, of course, with what I look like now, it's fine. But there will be a point where I have to, probably when I get to chest or belly button level, which is where I'm kind of aiming with this. That's the end goal. Basically, I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to have to, trim it down. That way the hair can eventually surpass. But, yeah, I don't need to really get into the future talk. I just need to focus on the now. And what I'm talking about with the past. Anyway, basically, I was at a point where my hair and beard were, like, barely different. And so I trimmed it up a lot. I think it was, like, something similar to this. And I trimmed it down to, like, right below my chin. And it was an okay cut. I did kind of botch it a little bit, and so and then basically after I had botched that, it looked fine enough, but I didn't know what I was doing with just blind trimming. And so, and I really effed up big time. And so I basically got to a point where with my trimmers, I basically had to do another pseudo goatee situation. What I basically did is I took my trimmers at their, like, with the largest, I don't even know what you call that, trimmer head. Basically cut the sides down and made a goatee that way, and like just kind of clean cut the goatee part where it was like maybe just slightly below the chin. Anyway, and then I kept growing that out, and it looked pretty fine before I then went ahead and made myself clean shaven. Anyway, point is, let professionals touch your hair. Chances are you're just gonna F it up. But that's where I get to get into this time lapse of how I made it look. I think personally, is it the perfect beard? No. But I do think it looks pretty nice. Basically, beard is gonna have similar principles to your hair, right? When you're growing out your hair, you're gonna wanna let the top be longer than the sides and the back, and then you're gonna make sure the top is a good 3-ish inches, and then after that, then you start growing out everything else. While it wasn't 3 inches per se, I think I did and you'll see I did a little different route. I did just a chin goatee, so no mustache, no nothing else, just hair on the chin. I let that grow out for about a month or so, and then afterwards is when I then started just letting everything naturally grow. And that's what I've been doing this whole time now, is just letting it grow. From that point, I let it get a good little base, the goatee part, and then after the base was had. Just let it keep going and going and going. Now, there was a problem with that caused part of my decision to cut my hair. Said I'm disappointed in myself. The beard was one thing, but the hair was another thing. I'm disappointed. I should have just hung on. You know, how much cooler I would look now if I would have just hung on. This would be my hair, or my beard, and then my hair, like right now, I'm confident my hair would be coming right out of frame right now if I just would have had the strength to just hang in there. But we didn't, and that's fine. You can always regrow things. Of course, time is finite, but I'm in my young years. We can redo things, and that's fine. But yeah, I just got to a point where just like something about the length of the hair, and it was worse, of course, when it was clean shaven. So I don't know, why I had to freak out so much, but I just didn't like how the beard and hair were mixing, and I just didn't feel very attractive. And then there was the heat aspect with my hair, where it was just so hot and not really swampy, but the campus of my current college is located right next to a river, and so that was just adding just a lot of humidity, and I was just sweating and stuff, and then I was going through some loneliness, and as stupid as it sounds now, I do think there was a part of me that thought by cutting my hair, I would be a little bit more attractive, and maybe I could get myself a girlfriend. Has it worked out? No. Moral of the story, don't change your looks for others, because sometimes whatever you're looking for just may not happen. And even if it could happen, you should be confident with what you look like. Anyway, we will now stop on that rant. We'll let you see the time lapse itself and then talk more. So without further ado, alrighty. So now you have seen the time lapse at this point. Of course, this is past me still. I hope these time lapse look fine. I'm sure I did an okay job of putting that together. But yeah, now let's talk about the beard itself. So I have done some few special things this time. First things first, and I had been using it at the end of my last time with my beard, but with my last beard, and then unfortunately cut my beard off, and now we're continuing that in. It's not like a consistent thing necessarily. I mean, it's pretty consistent, but not fully. If that makes sense. Because there's time when you run out of soap and stuff, but that is what we're talking about, is soap. Before, I just been comfortable using the same shampoo for both. Now, that is fine and dandy. Normal shampoo will do the job. But, of course, normal shampoo is more so built and specialized for your head, the hair on your head. And so I decided to give some different beard shampoos a try. I do think they have done a good job, some more than others, and so we'll talk about that. The first one I used, I don't have anymore, so I can't show you physically in my hand. But what I can do is put it up on the screen, which we'll do in this corner. This is the first beard shampoo I was using. Let me talk about some good points of it. It did clean very well, and more than anything, it did. It was a little strange, but also pleasant. For whatever reason, it was mint scented. So, while mint isn't necessarily, I would say, a bodily smell we're used to, we're not used to people being perfumed with mint scent. So it just kind of more or less, like when you're brushing your teeth, and then sometimes the smell of the mint from the toothpaste is just kind of caked in around your face. It more or less kind of was like that. Mint's not a bad smell. It's a pleasant smell. It's just not what we're used to when it comes to being a perfume. So it was a little strange. I did like, though, with that, the mint kind of gave the skin a cooling effect, which was really nice. So, I'll show it on the screen. This beard shampoo, if you want to give it a try, it worked pretty good. Just know it takes some getting used to. Now, the other products I have right here on my desk, and I just kind of made my setup wobble a little bit, but we'll show you that. The first one we'll be showing you is this Gibbs Grooming Shampoo for Hair and Beard. So this one is good. It's definitely a very good shampoo. It does the job pretty well. There's some potential minusing for being a 2-in-1. It's very convenient that way, but at that point, what's stopping you from using a normal shampoo? Also, where it's kind of more of a universal thing, it's not really specified for either or. It's just kind of, we've made this where it works well enough for your hair and your beard. So, yeah. I will say though, I do have to re-smell it. I don't know what to say it smells like. I did use it the other day though. It kind of, more or less, like a lot of modern guy shampoos, like designer guy shampoos, gives off a specialized wood smell, if you know what I mean. You know how like a lot of modern guy stuff just smells like wood or rock? It's one of those kind of scents. But like, it's a fairly strong one. So, as someone that grew up with stuff like Axe and sometimes more girly things like Pantene or something, I'm more used to fruity, chemical fruity, and maybe beachy and like floral vibes. That's what I'm used to. So this sort of wood rock scent, I'm still getting used to. So do know that if you're like me and you grow up on similar scents, this is something that does take a little bit getting used to. As I said, it works pretty good, but being a 2-in-1 thing, it makes your life easier. But it's kind of like a jack of trades, master of none sort of situation where, because it's not really specialized towards anything and it's kind of made to be an all-rounder, works well, but I think you'd be better off just using, you know, normal shampoo for your hair and then using beard shampoo, which is of course what I'm getting into. Now, this next product I found, I'm kind of biased, honestly, just because I do also just think it has a very cool appeal, where I'm Norse heathen and all that. But this other one I got is called Viking Revolution. Now, you can see the scent is sandalwood. I don't know what argan and I know what ginseng is, but I don't know what it does for hair. But this beard shampoo is awesome. And plus, like, just look at this. Like, everything about this bottle just is cool. I don't remember how many any of these products are. They're fairly... You'll find that beard products are kind of expensive. This might have been $15, I want to say. But you don't need to use that much each time. You only need to put a little dab in your hand and then, you know, I think you got the rest. What I do like about this product though, I mean, you can't feel it because you're behind the screen, but it does, one thing I do like is, most other things just kind of leave your beard more or less feeling like your beard. Just kind of more coarse and scraggly. This beard shampoo, I don't know what they put in it to make it like this, really, but it makes your beard feel quite soft, and I like that. Some people might be like, "Ooh, soft things, ooh, that's not very manly," but F you, dude. That's all I gotta say. This is gonna be my product I use from now on, for the most part. Of course, I'll use this until it's gone, but this, we love this. This is some nice stuff. Get yourself some Viking Revolution. But yeah. So there's some of that. Aside from that, I don't really have too much to talk about. Like, as far as beard care, it's pretty easy. Just at the first steps, you don't really have to do anything. Once you get to a little bit of length, you can't really do anything anyway. You can't even do anything really until it probably around the 3-4 month mark, when it's long enough to kind of bend around and do things. And then after that point, it is pretty self-explanatory. At the beginning, you can comb it out. I mean, even at this stage, I can technically comb it out, but it's a lot easier just to brush. So I will say that is one thing to talk about. You could do you. I just personally, for hygiene purposes, I have a hairbrush and then a beard brush, and I never cross at all. I don't use the beard brush for my hair, and I don't use a hairbrush for my beard. The comb is kind of a different topic, because the comb is easier to clean out, so I just I don't care about the comb with doing a cross use. But for brushes where it's a little harder to clean out, I do make a distinction of this one is for my hair, this one is for my beard. Now, as far as hairbrushes go, it's gonna take a little bit, but I will say I did find a really good hairbrush, which I'll make sure to talk about come here in a few months when I reach the year of hair video. But this is the year of beard video, so we won't be showing that. But that is a good reminder to myself. We will show you that really cool comb that I'm pretty sure a lot of you would like. But yeah, outside of that, we could talk about some different beard things. Do you know that your beard will grow out in different length cycles? As you could tell, like, for example, my mustache, like, you can't say this is anywhere the same length as the beard itself. In fact, from where I'm sitting, some of the lighting is making it a little impossible to see. because it's red/blonde tinted. But one thing to keep in mind, and there's different beard growth patterns and mustache growth patterns, but with the mustache itself, what you'll find is the longer it gets, the more annoying it gets as far as the mustache. The mustache is going to be the one part that you're constantly going to be wanting to shave off. And you could shave it off, just know that you might look look a little Amish or something if you do that. But yeah, you're going to be constantly doing this thing with your mustache over and over again. And that's because it just, for some reason, I don't know what it is with mustaches, but they really like to just contract themselves to try to go in your mouth. Like, it's a battle. It's a battle. Just know that your mustache will be a battle. It'll be constantly, whether you're eating or talking or I don't know what else, but it's going to try and do everything it possibly can to get in your mouth. As far as the beard itself, I mean, you'll have no issues growing out the beard, really. I mean, unlike the hair, I would say this year length is kind of an awkward stage, but like an awkward stage with a beard isn't the same as your hair. With an awkward stage like I'm going through with my hair, it's like where, you know, it's long enough to be long, but not short enough to be short. You're kind of in this weird phase. You have a little bit of that with the beard, but like unlike your hair, like your beard just hangs off of your face. Like there's no inconvenience with it. So it's not nearly as awkward, I would say. Because like with your hair, when it's an awkward phase, like it can hang right in front of your face and you can't really do much about it besides put it to the side and it'll fall in your face again. You know, your hair pokes you in the eyes, it gets in weird places. What I'm finding with my hair being like right in front of my ears is it wants to constantly hang in front of the ears, and it makes that hard. That makes it hard to put in earbuds and all the stuff, and you can't tie it back really. And a lot of things with your hair, with your beard, like it's not getting in the way of anything really. I mean, maybe if you have a certain job, it might get in the way for certain things, but like for me, like the most I have to worry about with it getting in the way is it makes it a little inconvenient putting on a hoodie, or sometimes when I'm carrying a box, particularly like close to my chest, sometimes the box will press on my beard, but that doesn't really cause too many issues. The main thing is just really a looks thing. I did take a shower before taking this video, and so with doing that and combing it out and drying it out and everything, my beard is at what is its like longest state because I've just freshly taken care of it. And so over the days as you know, go to bed and wake up and toss and turn and go to work and, you know, go outside, do all these different things, like just all the tossing and turning and ruffling that happens with the beard, it kind of contorts it a little bit. And so sometimes your beard will look shorter and longer. And so that's why I'm calling this an awkward stages. It's a little inconsistent. Sometimes it feels long, sometimes it feels short. But yeah. But, you know, that just means keep growing it out. After a certain point, it'll be long enough, just like with hair. Like, you'll get to a point where it's long enough where it consistently feels long. So, that's what we're doing. Now, let's do some measurements so you can get an idea. Let's first off start with some visual things. So, this is where the bottom of my chin is for a type of vantage point. This is my collarbone. So, just so you can kind of see where this is coming. And then using a ruler, if we put it about here, let's see, beard comes to visually from what my camera looks like about here. So, and this is unstretched out, which is one thing. So it looks like it comes about, if that'll focus, about 5 inches off of my chin is what it looks like. But beard hair, of course, is pretty curly, and so it's gonna bunch up a little bit. If I like pulled on this sucker, like this, like it comes pretty far down. Like if I pull on it, it can't come to here. So just know, and now that kind of made my beard look a little unruly, but whatever. That's an example of the beard getting unruly, but yeah. So just know, it does kind of deceive a little bit. It's going to hang about an inch-ish above its true length. But yeah, now with kind of hair in mind, just for perspective, it won't be exact, of course, but you can expect the next time you see me for it to probably, I would say, because it hangs maybe an inch or so above its true length, we'll go with this. The next time you see me for a beard video, it might come to about where my nipples are. Maybe, I don't know. But, so just expect it to be kind of down to here next time you see me, ish. Maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower. I don't know. More likely higher than lower. But that should give you now an idea. I ranted too long on this video, but yeah, we talked about beards, stuff not to do, stuff to do. We talked about shampoos, just, you know, the beard's a little different from the hair on your head. We talked about properly combing it out. We talked about a lot of different things, length and all this other stuff. We'll end on this note. For first time beard growers, just know, my beard is more or less the same color, but as you can tell, it's more or less red, but with some blonde mixed in here and there. And that's natural. Do expect, especially if you have like black hair or something, yeah, you might get some gray streaks, or something. Your hair it's gonna have some weird streak thing that happen. Like you could have brown hair and also have some blonde streaks like I do. And that's a natural thing that happens when it comes to your hair. So do know that could happen. It could be not all the same color. You can dye it if you want, or, you know, say, what the heck, and just go au natural, right? But that's enough for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something about beards. But yeah, it was a little way too long-winded for this nature video. But yeah, we'll see you in the next video, and until then, hey do.